This conference will now be recorded.
So in today's class, we are going to start it with a new concept called as here internal tables. So what is this internal tables? Variables are mainly used to store single values, whereas work area is used to store one single record while the program is executing. Now, coming to the internal tables, it will store multiple records. It will store multiple records. So multiple records will get stored in your internal table during the program execution. The program execution. So when we are executing the program and if I want to store multiple records of data, then we have to create an internal table. So now internal table in SAP, we do have three types of internal tables. So one is a standard internal table, a standard internal table, and the second one is the sorted internal table, and the third one is the hashed internal tables. One is the standard, the second one is sorted, and the third one is the hashed internal tables. So coming to the standard, so these are three different types of internal tables which we have. So standard by the in real time, 99% or 99% we will be using the standard internal table type. So if it is a standard internal table type, we can add the data however we want and wherever we want. So in this type of table, we can add the data however we want and wherever we want. Wherever we want. So let's say for example, I have 10 records. In between that record, I want to add it. You can able to do that. Or in between, or at the last, if you want to add it, you can able to do it. Or at the first, you want to add it, you can able to do it. So all this is possible with the help of your standard internal tables. Coming to this sorted, so we have to provide this sorted key, and while adding the data we need to we need to we need to so we have to send the data in the form of sorted key. We have to so while adding the data, we have to send in the form of sorted key. So in the form of sorted key info only we have to check and we have to update the internal table. So here hashed, it will use the hashed algorithm technique. Hashed algorithm technique. Hashed algorithm. So to update the data. So these two things we will be covering as part of your miscellaneous concept. So because in real time we will be only using the standard internal tables. So these two things we will be covering at a later point of time. Now, so how to define the standard internal tables? The syntax is the old syntax. So we will be writing it as data GT underscore the description, whatever the description you have, type standard table of, standard table of, you will be writing either to your global GTY. So GTY underscore your description, your types declaration, or you can define it to SE11 table reference, or you can refer to SE11 structure reference. Structure reference. So this is how you have to define. So whenever you want to create an internal table, so if you have specific fields, the first thing is you need to create your types declaration, or if you are directly providing it to your table or structure that is there in your Mara, you can, sorry, that is there in your SE11, you can directly provide that. You can directly provide that. So this is how you have to define your standard internal table. Now, in the same way, sorted, you will be just providing the data, the type sorted table of. So when we are defining the types, so then when we are defining the types itself, we will be providing the key info. So, and that, or else you can say non-unique key, non-unique key, and you have to provide whatever the fields. So the field 1, the field 2, like that you have to provide this. Now, whereas the hashed internal tables, it's the same thing. You just need to provide, instead of standard, here you will be providing it as sorted, and instead of hashed, you will be providing, so instead of this here, as 1 second, guys. You have to define your internal tables while you are creating, while you are defining in your SAP. Now, how to add the data to this table? How to add the data into this internal table? This internal table. So in SAP, we do have two types of SQL syntaxes. We do have two types of SQL syntax. SQL syntaxes are there. One is the OpenSQL, and the second one is the native SQL. The native SQL. So these OpenSQLs are mainly used to add the data into the internal table, whereas the native SQL is used used to add the data into the standard database table. Standard database table. So this we will be covering when we are dealing with your function module. And now we are going to see what is this open SQL syntax. What is this open SQL syntaxes? So what are different types of open SQL syntaxes are there? We do have append, we do have insert, we do have modify, and we do have your delete. Append, insert, modify, and your delete. So these are the four things. Whereas coming to this native SQL, insert, update, insert, update, modify, and delete. So these are the four syntaxes that you will be having. Okay, so as of now, we are just covering only your OpenSQL syntaxes. So what is this append statement? So this statement is used to add the records, at the after the last record, at the records at the last, I would say at the last. So for example, let's say, for example, let's say I have a data with the 10 records. I have the data with 10 records. When we use the append, it will add as a 11th record. It will add as a 11th record to the internal table. 11th record to the internal table. So that is what your append statement is. So the syntax is, so append work area. So this is what, so you will be defining your work area. So the work area, so I told you in yesterday's class, with the help of work area only we can able to play with your internal table. Append work area to internal table. That's it. So append work area to your internal table. That's it. Now insert. So it will add. So insert will also add the data, will also add the data. The difference between the append and the insert is, with this statement, with this statement, we can add the data wherever we want, wherever we want. So let's say I want to add at line number 4, or I want to add line number 5, or I want to add at line number 10, or I want to add at line number 7. So wherever you want, you can go ahead and add the data with the help of this insert command. So the statement is insert work area. Insert work area into internal table. So you have to provide the position where you need to add this record. To provide the position, we will be using a command called as index. Index will tell us what is the row, and you need to specify your row ID. You have to specify your row ID. So once you specify your row ID, that particular row, it will go ahead and add the data to that particular row. Now coming to this modify statement, so it is used to change the existing data of a internal table, of an internal table. So in order to change any existing record of an internal table, we will be using this modify statement. So now the syntax is modify modify internal table from work area index. So which row you want to modify? So you have to specify that, and you have to specify your row ID. You have to specify your row ID. So this is what. Now coming to this delete. So this delete is used to remove the records from the internal table. From the internal table. In this, we do have 3 types of statements. One is delete with where conditions, and second one is delete using work area, and then delete adjacent. So delete adjacent duplicates. So delete adjacent duplicates. So this I'll be telling you the syntaxes at a later point of time. So now let's see how can we work with your append statements. So I'm going to SC38. I'll just say GR7 AM example on internal tables. I'll just go ahead and click on create. internal tables. Now I'll just say executable program, click on save it. I'll be saving that to my package as to my PR. So now my requirement is add 5 to 6 records, 5 to 6 records, and display those records, display the records in the output. Display the records in your output. Add 5 to 6 records and display the records in your output. So now what is a table? So my table is, let's take, I'm going to take this as the Mara table. I'm going to take it as, and what are the fields? I'm going to take MATNR, ERSDA, ERSDA, ERNAM. So I know the fields, that's the reason. So in real time, these fields will be provided by your functionals. What are the fields that are needed to be displayed in the output will be provided by your functionals, and you have to use that, and you have to create your own types, declarations, and structures, and you have to write your corresponding logic and display the data in your output. So MATNR, ERSDA, ERNAM, ERNAM, MTART, MATKL, and MBRSH. So this is the one. So now the first thing what we need to do, we have to define our own structure. So the first thing is we have to create your types declaration. The types declaration. So now I'm going with my pattern, as I already told you, with the fields from structure. I'm going with the Mara. So MATNR, ERSDA, ERNAM, MTART, MBRSH, and MATKL. I'll just say click on copy, and I'll be going to say this as GTY_Mara, and I'm going to take this as types. That's it. So my types declaration is completed. Now what is the next thing? We need to define our data declarations. Data declarations. Now we are going to say data GT_Mara type standard table of GTY_your Mara, and then GS_Mara type GTY_your Mara. So this is your work. This is your internal table, and this is your work area. I'm just defining that so that you can able to understand work area. So now what I need to do, I need to add the records. How to add it? So in logic. So first thing is, in order to use an append statement, we need the data to be gets populated in your work area, right? We need the data to be gets populated in your work area. So now what I will do, the first thing is we have to append that, we have to pass the data to your work area. So you know it, GS_Mara is equal to value hash. I'm just going to write the new statements. MATNR is equal to, let's take 1, and then ERSDA, which is nothing but your date. I'm going to take this as try datum, and then ERNAM is equal to psi uname, and then MTART is equal to ROH, and then MBRSH is equal to industry sector. So MBRSH is equal to, let's take this as C, chemicals, and then MATKL is equal to material group, which is nothing but your 000401. So like this, you will be having your material group. So I told you, this is your new style of adding the data. And then what I need to do, once you have the data in this, what you will be doing, append work area GS underscore Mara to GT underscore Mara. So every time once you uses your OpenSQL syntaxes, note whenever 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 we use the OpenSQL syntax, we always need to clear the work area. We always need to clear your work area. So remember that. Why? Because I'll show you that. Don't worry. So that's it. This is how you have to add the data. We have to add the data. Now, let's say, for example, if I'm not clearing the data, for example, let's say, now what I will do, GS underscore Mara is equal to, I'll just going to copy. I'm just adding the second line. So 2. And I'm not going to pass this ROH and this C. MBRSH, I'm not passing. So we don't have the values for that. For example, let's say. So now when I do my pretty printer, and let me get activate the code. And now, sorry, I forgot to keep a breakpoint. I'm just going to keep a breakpoint. I'll just activate again. So now I'm just keeping a breakpoint over here to, I'll just click on execute. Now see here, when you double click on this GT Mara, you can see this 0 specifies the number of rows and 6 specifies the number of columns. And what is the type of table you have taken? Standard table. When you taken here your sorted, it will also be shown you as your sorted table. Your sorted table. So what is the type of a table you have taken? That will be shown over here. Now F5. When I say F5, it will add the records to your GS Mara. See here. So now F5, it will add the records to your internal table. It will add the records. Now see here, it has added the records. When I say F5, what happened? One second, guys. I forgot to add this statement to my GT Mara. Okay, let me activate this. And I'll directly put a breakpoint. I'll remove this breakpoint. I'll just click on execute. So now in my GT Mara, if you see here your GS Mara, so now see here, oh, okay. In the new syntaxes, it is working without having a clear statement too. In the new syntaxes, it is working without having a clear statement. But when you are using your old syntax, it will populate the same values. It will have the same values. So in the new syntax, without having a clear statement, it is working absolutely fine. Okay, absolutely fine. You don't need to write down that. But whereas in the old syntaxes, when you are writing it, so you have to use a clear statement. So now the data has been added. If I say F5, the second record will also get added to your internal table. So that means my note, which are I told you when you are this will applicable. This will applicable when we are using the old syntax, but it's better to clear it when you are writing it out, because I'm sure that this value should be there. This value should be there, but somehow it is not showing it over here. Okay, so now I'll be saying this here, it has clear GS underscore Mara. So that's it. Now do your pretty printer and let's get activate the code. So now my data has been added to my internal table. So now what is the new syntax for your append statement? Without declaring your work area, so we can write down your data. So what I mean to say, so whenever, so in the new syntax, in the new syntax, we we don't need the presence of work area. We don't need the work area to add the records, to add the records to an internal table, add the records to an internal table. So we can define the work area while writing the append statement itself. So we can define the work area while writing the append statement. While writing the append statement. While writing the append statement, we can define the work area. So how can you define that? So to define this, so you will just say append value. Here you will be providing the work area. You don't need to provide this. You will just say value hash and pass your work area details directly. Pass your work area details directly. So whatever the details you have, you just go ahead and pass that, and then you just say this as into internal table g underscore mara. That's it. So single statement, so you can pass the data to your work into your internal table, to your internal table. So if it is a standard structure, you can just pass by replacing the hash with your standard structure. As you are using the custom structure, I'm just using it as hash. Hash is nothing but your generic. Hash is nothing but your generic. It will consider this structure thing and it will provide that. So now this will be your work area. This will be your work area. So the work area can be built inside your append statement. The work area can be built inside your append statement. Now let me activate the code. Let me remove the breakpoint and let me keep a breakpoint over here. And I'll just say click on execute. So now we don't have your work area. Now you can see here automatically the record will be gets added. The record will be gets added. So with the help of your work area. So this internally this will uses the SAP memory as your work area and it will add the records to your internal table. It will add the records to your internal table. So this is how you will be adding the data to your internal table. Now let's take the fourth one. I'm going to add the fourth record. So fourth, can we append multiple lines? I'm going to come to that statement. Bhagya, just give me 5 minutes. I'll come to that. So next, the fourth one, I'm just going to take this as side item plus 30. So I'm just going to use this instead of ROH. I'm going to take this as HALB, semi-finished products, and FERT as finished products. As finished product, and the fifth record also I'm going to add this one. I'll just come to your question. So I'll just go ahead and add the fifth record, and this one is a side item minus 30, and I'm going to take this as ZROH, the custom one, the customer. So now that's it. Now I have added the data to my internal table. I have added the data to my internal table. I'll just go ahead and do that with the new syntax itself over here too. I'll just replace with this the new syntax over here too. Because I want to show you the inline declarations per while you're displaying the data also. So now here also it's the same thing. So that's it. I'm just going to cut this out. Now do your 3D printer and then activate your code. So you have to align the code over here. your responsibility to align the code. Okay, so now, okay, now how to display the data of an internal table? So I want to display the data of an internal table. I can get to this. If I say feed, I can go to my GT underscore Mara. So now let's say, for example, if you have this GT underscore Mara, when you want to see, for example, if you have 50 fields or 100 fields, you can't able to view all your 100 fields in this. In order to view that, just click on this table display in ALB. Table display in ALB. So you can see the table display in the part of your ALB where you can able to filter the data. Let's say, for example, I want to see the data of ROH. So now select this field and click on your filter, and what is the value? ROH. So now you can see whether you have the ROH data or not, and what is the row number you have this ROH. That is the row number. If I want to specify multiple also, you can just specify your multiple. So let's say I want to do it on again ROH. So again, so you need to select this multiple option ROH HALB I want. So I'll just say click on execute and click on execute. It will show you where is your HALB and ROH. So to see in your debugging whether you have whether you have received what you are expecting the data, what data you are expecting, whether you are receiving or not, you can able to see that. Now, in the same way, if you want, you can download the contents also. You can download, see, save the data in the form of your XML, save the file. So if I say this as save the file, so it will ask you from which table to which table. And if I say this as continue, it will just open your desktop mode. I'll just save it. For example, if I want to see in the form of your Excel, so you can do that. So now if I double click on this, it will showcase you the form of your Excel sheet. It will showcase you in the form of your Excel sheet. That is also possible. Now, in the same way, if I want to change the contents, now select the row, whatever the row you want, you select this and you just selected the changed contents, and you can say this as whatever you want. So it said ERT, and here it is as let's take this as your P. So like this you can go ahead and change. Let's say, for example, I don't want fourth and fifth record. So select this and click on the deleted the selected rows, or if you want to completely delete, so from which row to which row, let's say I want to delete it from fourth row to fifth row, or fifth row to fifth row. So now my fifth row has been deleted. So you can play on your internal table using these services of your tool. So whatever the services you have, you can use this and you can play with your tool. You can do whatever you want, downloading, saving the file and if you want to upload, you can also upload the file in the debugging directly. And if you want to find, or if you want to change it, delete it, or insert the row, append the row. So if I say this as appended, how many rows you want to append? Let's say I want to add 2 rows. See here, it will just add the second row as an appended row. The second row as an appended row. So this is what. So like this, you can just go ahead and add how many records you want. You can just go ahead and add that one. So let me select this. 1 second. I'll come to your question. Change the selected row. I'll just delete this. Okay. So now, what is the question? Do we have a concept of primary keys in SAP tables where we should not add the duplicate records in your internal table? Okay, so that you will be seeing in your sorted internal table, but in your standard internal table, we don't have a primary key concept. That's what I told you. So the non-unique key value, the unique key, sorry, this is the key value. So here you will be providing your key, but here we will not be providing any key. However you want, you can add it. How many times also you want, you can add the data. No issues at all. It will just add it. It will just add it. But from here onwards, you have to check whether the data is already available or in which position you have to add it and all this stuff. So that's the main reason we will be using 99% of this. 99% in your programming. Okay. So clear? Clear, Bindu? Bindu is clear?
Yes, Ravi.
Okay. So now I want to display the data of this internal table. So in order to display the data of an internal table, to display the data of an internal table, we need to process the internal table. We need to process the internal table. How to process this? So to process the internal table, we have a loop statement. To process the internal table, we have a loop statement. So this statement is used to process whether it can be displayed or whether you want to transfer the data from one internal table to another internal table, or if you want to change the contents, or if you want to play with if your if conditions or case statements or whatever you want. So whatever you want to play on the data of an internal table, you have to use this loop statement. Loop is a statement. It will read the record by record. So that means it will uses a concept called as FIFO. FIFO. So which is nothing but your first in, first in, first out. First in, first out concept it will uses. The SAP uses FIFO concept. So loop statement will always use the first in, first out statement. That means it will loop the record loop the record one by one. Once the first record is completed, it will go to the next record, and it will follows the same. It will follows the same. So just give me 1 minute, guys. Someone has rang the bell. Yeah, sorry for that, guys. So the first, once the first record is completed, it will go to the next record and it will follow the same. So what is the syntax? The syntax is so loop at loop at internal table. Internal table. So as we are going to pass record by record, so in order to pass that, we need your work area. So the work area will also be used to process the data of your internal table. In order to add the records to your internal table, in order to process the records of an internal table, we need this work area. We need this work area. Loop an internal table into your work area and then end the loop and loop. So in between this, you have to write your corresponding ABAP logic. ABAP logic. So in order to display the data, you will be just say the right, and you will be writing this as work area hyphen field 1 comma work area hyphen field 2 and so on. At the last, you will be using your full stop. So this is how you have to write down. So now I'm going to display the data of my internal table. So now what I will be doing, display expected change. I'll be showing you this at a later point of time also. It's uh, whatever I have used. So now I want to display the data. Display the data. So to display the data, what you will be using, in fact, internal table. What is my internal table? GD underscore Mara into what is my work area? GS underscore Mara. And then you can just say write GS underscore Mara hyphen MATNR and then GS underscore Mara hyphen ERS ERSTA and then GS underscore Mara hyphen ERNAM and then GS underscore Mara hyphen MDART and then GS underscore Mara hyphen MBRSH and then GS underscore Mara MATKL. So this is what your syntax is. Now when I go ahead and do my printer, I'll just activate this. So directly you can't able to display the data of an internal table with the help of your write statement. With the help of your write statement, directly you can't able to display the data of an internal table. When you are using the write statement, you have to pass the data to a work area. Write command is used to only display the data in the form of your variable or a structured. Internal table data you can't able to display. Now I'll be just keeping a breakpoint over here. Let me click on execute. So now I'll be having the data over here. I'll be having a work area. So now the first record. So how can you know which record you are processing inside your loop? With the help of your side tabbings. So side tabbings is the one which is used to tell which record you are processing inside your loop. the which row number you are processing. The first row, I'm just processing that. I'm just processing that. Now again F5. Now the second record. The second record. See here. So if you want, you can also write this site habits. So you can just see it out here also. You don't need to go ahead and see at the top, everywhere at the top. So you can directly see it over here too. You can see it directly here too. Now it will display the data in the output, whatever you have been used. Now here you can see there is a space. Why it is coming up? It is an 18-digit characters. So you have used only one single digit. So that's the reason it has shown you your space. Okay. So don't worry. So while you are using the function modules and everything, automatically the SAP will take it with the data. SAP will take into consideration to remove these leading zeros, to remove these leading spaces. SAP will take into consideration. Don't worry about that. Now, till to this point, have you used your work area? Till to this point, have you used your work area in the new syntax? No, we have not used it. We have directly used by inline declaration. We have directly used inline the new syntax, and we have added the data without having a work area. Now, even in the loop also, when you're defining the loop, this work area can be created while defining your loop statement. The work area can be declared, so you don't need to declare at the top. So I'm just going to remove this declaration at the top. See how we are going to change this command. So now here I'll just say that this is the old syntax into data of. So now it will declare a work area with the help of whatever the line which is there. So the line, it will be acts like as your work area. So this is called as your inline declarations. So while you are declaring in the command itself, you are declaring your data. You are declaring your work areas and your internal tables. You can also declare your internal tables inline, that we will be showing you while writing your select statements. That means you don't need this types declaration also. You don't need this types declaration. You don't need this data declaration too. We don't need. So that's what we will be doing when we going into your upcoming classes. When we go ahead with your upcoming classes, that is what we are going to do it. Okay. So now, so this is what. So this is your inline declaration. Now when I do my pretty printer, when I activate the code, it will just activate the code. Again, the clear statement, I guess. Yes. See here, at this given point of time, the declaration has not done. A declaration where it has happened, at this place it has happened. So till the cursor has reached to this position, the declaration will not done. Till the cursor has reached to this position, the declaration will not done. Now if I say this as execute, so now the command will be the same. The GS Mara, you will be having the data to your GS Mara. F5, it will just go ahead and add the data to your, it will just display the data. So same thing. Instead of declaring that, you will be declaring that while you are displaying the data. While you are displaying the data. So this is how you will be displaying the data with the help of your inline declarations. So going forward, we are going to use this command. We are going to use this inline declarations only. I'm not at all going to use your data declarations and all this stuff. But while you guys are practicing, so remember to practice the old style and remember to practice in the new style too. Remember to practice in the old style and remember to practice in the new style. Okay, so let's take an assignment program. Assignment 3. Assignment. assignment 3. So now I need a parameter in the selection screen. The selection screen where the user will provide uh, year. So the user will provide the year. Okay. So I need yeah. So provide the year. So display the data of all the months and the year So that means I need a field called as month and an year. So month you have to fill it with January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November and December, and the year. So whatever the year you will be providing in your selection screen. So use that. So do this with the old syntax and the new syntax. Old syntax and the new syntax. Now, the next one is assignment 4. Assignment 4. Get the following fields from the table EKKO. EKKO. So what are the fields? The fields are so let me go to my EKKO table /n SE11. So I'm going to my EKKO table. I'll just click on display. I want EBELN, BUKRS, DSART, AEDAT, ERNAM. Let me write down that EBELN, BUKRS, and BSART, Okay.